Drake Riggs here from BJPenn.com, and I'm joined by the number 9 ranked UFC flyweight contender, Jessica Rose Clark. She will be taking on Jessica Eye at UFC Singapore on June 23rd. Let's get right into it. All right, so you recently posted on social media about how your body had kind of had enough going into your last fight, and that you're already feeling
Yeah,
significantly better already going into this one. So, how big of a difference really is it from then to now?
huge difference. Going into that last fight with Paige, like I had done, I think I worked out I'd done like 9 weight cuts or something over 18 months, and my body was just had enough. And like especially cutting so much weight for my debut fight on 10 days, and then I think I had about 6 weeks between those two. So obviously spending a week back home after my debut and eating normally, and then coming back and having to start all over again after that fight, my body just shut down. Like my immune system wasn't having it anymore. My metabolism was all fucked up. So I spent a lot of time resting and just doing a few things to take care of myself and get everything back in working order. And then when we got this Jessica fight, I was already in better condition than what I've been for probably my last 6 or 7 fights now. So it's been a really this camp's been something that I haven't experienced before because I've gone into it at full health, and because I've been fighting back to back for so many years now,
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I've ever been at full health going into a camp. So yeah, huge difference, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without the guys at the Performance Institute. So I'm very grateful that I'm in the position that I'm in now.
Yeah, definitely. So, have you changed up much since then, or is it pretty much just waiting and giving your body time to recover?
Yeah, it was just letting it recover. I had to take about 8 weeks off. Um, where I wasn't counting calories. I was just kind of eating what I wanted. I wasn't doing high intensity cardio. Like I was mainly just lifting, doing like clean and jerk, all that sort of stuff that I really enjoy doing. Hitting pads a few times and just really training for fun instead of training to push my body. And that coupled with prioritizing sleep and making sure, that I wasn't drinking alcohol, doing any of those things,
Hmm.
watching my caffeine intake. Yeah, a combination of all those just really, like, it was like I reset my body. I feel like a whole new person. It's insane.
Awesome. So, I'm sure you've heard by now. Dana White's been sounding pretty adamant about changing the weigh-ins back to the afternoon time rather than keeping them as the early, which is currently like what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on that and how it might affect weight cuts for you?
I think it's silly to punish the majority because of a few, and I'm part of that. I'm part of that number that's in a few. Obviously, I missed on my debut fight, But yeah, I think it's insane to punish everyone because of that. But I don't know if he's actually planning on doing it or if it's a case of like just wanting to speak before everything had actually been thought through. But realistically, like only my last 3 fights have had actually only my last 2 fights have had morning weigh-ins. So my whole career has been, the night before, not even the
Hmm.
afternoon. It's been the night before the fight weigh. So I really don't care either way, to be honest. Like I'm used to having the evening where you only have 24 hours till you fight. So whatever. Like I think it's silly, but at the same time, everyone's going to adjust either way.
Yeah, for sure. So you're taking on Jessica Eye, as you mentioned, in 2 weeks at UFC Singapore. And in some
Yep.
of your interviews shortly after your last fight, you were kind of calling for opponents ranked higher than you, which makes sense. You're on a winning streak and everything like that. And so are you upset at all that you didn't get a higher ranked opponent than Jessica Eye, who's behind you in the rankings, or is it just like no big deal?
No, you know what? They offered me her, and they offered me someone who was higher ranked. And when I put those two names side by side, the Jessica fight was just promotionally and from a marketing standpoint was a much bigger fight for
Hmm.
me. You know what I mean? And I think like her style mixed with my style is going to put on a very exciting and entertaining fight, which is ultimately what my goal is. Like
Yeah.
I want to win for sure, but I also want to entertain. It's one of the reasons why I was so disappointed in my last fight over Paige, even though I beat her, was that it wasn't an entertaining fight. Like I was bummed about that.
Yeah.
I think with Jessica's experience and with her style, it it made a lot more sense for me.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, she's got a great name, you know, and they pushed her. Obviously, she's been in the UFC for, 8 fights and only won 2 of them, you know. So, obviously, they like her a lot. So, it just made a lot more sense. And, you know, after this one, once I win this one, I'll get my higher ranked opponent, then we can start moving up again. But, yeah, I really like the idea of fighting Jessica. I think it's a great matchup for me, and I think I'm a great matchup for her.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a great matchup and good fight, I think. Is it too much to ask who the other person was that they offered you?
The other person?
Yeah, is that too much info to ask for?
I don't, like, that's old news. I don't need to say that.
All right.
It was someone higher ranked. So.
Okay. So, yeah, you kind of mentioned how Jessica's had 8 fights or however many and only won 2 of them. Do you really look at the records, or are you just, like, you know she's good and her fights have been close in her losses? Do you pay any attention to her record, pretty much?
Yeah, no. I don't, to be honest, I don't really pay any attention to anyone that's not me. Like, even when I'm prepping for a fight, I'm still game planning for myself, not for the other person. So, I don't think her record does her justice. You know, like, I've watched 1 or 2 of her fights. Obviously, she fought on St. Louis with me, so I saw that fight of hers. That's probably only 1 of 2 that I've actually watched. But I know she has a very well-rounded skill set. I've, seen articles about her where people have, you know, sung praises, and she definitely deserves to be where she's at, you know. So I think she came in to the UFC at an inopportune time.
Mm-hmm.
For who she is. No, if they had had 125, she probably would have been a lot more successful, because she's definitely a lot better at that weight. But yeah, I don't pay much attention to records, because, like, fuck it, we've all got wins and we've all got losses, and some of them are credible and some of them aren't. So you can't really use that to gauge how good someone is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how far from a title shot do you think that a win over her would put you? Because that would give you 3 straight UFC wins. Obviously, the first one, you know, you missed weight, but still got the win in good, dominant fashion. So,
yeah.
How many fights realistically do you think that you'd be after a potential win with this one?
I think 2 or 3. You know, like, honestly, like, I want the title fight for sure. But I'm also happy to kind of go the Jessica Andrade route and just go through everyone above me.
Mm-hmm.
To get there. You know, I really want to make my mark and make a stand and have a justified case for why I deserve to fight for the title. So, no matter how it goes down, I'm not really concerned. I know I'll get there one way or the other. There's a few names that are ranked higher than me that I would really like to fight that I think would make for very great, entertaining matches. So, I also want the opportunity to fight pretty much everyone. And I know there's a lot of people in line before me anyway, so I'm happy to let them all try and fail and then just wait my time.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Is there one opponent that you really like, just want to fight more than the others that's ranked above you, or are you just like, I'll take them all out when it comes?
Yeah, I'll just take them as they come. Like, obviously, I've been calling for Alexis Davis because I think, you know, she's a veteran, she's got a good record, you know, she's had some really great fights. She's ranked a lot higher than me, but it was just, that was who I chose,
mm-hmm.
you know? Like,
yeah.
There's girls that are ranked above me who either are from the same team as me or have the same management, you know, so out of respect to everyone else, I wasn't going to call them out. But yeah, I don't really care who it is. Like, I'll take anyone. I think I've proven that time and time again that I don't really care who I fight as long as I get to fight.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as I'm getting paid, I'm happy.
Yeah, so we've actually seen some pretty big names coming through Syndicate lately, like Yair Rodriguez, pardon me. That was like yesterday or something. And then Joanne Calderwood's been there, and saw Francis Ngannou.
Yep.
So what's it been like working with those guys?
Yeah, great. JoJo's probably one of the best training partners I've had, you know, in terms of women who've come through here. So I'm super happy that she's here. Her and I work together really, really well. She pushes me really hard, and, you know, she's got a bit of size on me, which is also good. And then it's awesome seeing Francis in here every day, and I think he feels like he has a good team here now, and he just seems to be really happy to be here. And then Yair has been here for the last week or so, you know, and I'm really hoping that he stays because I would love to be able to train with him, and I really think he's a fantastic addition to our team. But that is one of the things I love about Syndicate is that we're so open and welcoming to everyone, and and I think you can feel that when you come in here. You know, like there's no one being standoffish or making you feel like you don't belong. Like everyone's welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope, I'd like to see more people come through and stay. You know, like we have a lot of people who come through just for camps, or people who've like come and done one camp here and then left and found something else, and that's all good. But I really think that people underestimate Syndicate and underestimate John Wood and just how good John Wood is as a coach. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's definitely become one of the more underrated gyms, I would say. It just keeps on getting better and better over the years.
Yeah, for sure. And especially John as a coach, you know, I see people sing praises of all these other high level coaches, but they're not like, so many of them are taking people on who are already established. They're not building people up, or they're not taking people with losing records and building them back up to winning, and that's what John does. You know, I came here with a couple of losses. Roxanne came here with a couple of losses. Like Francis come here off his last loss. Yair's here off his last loss.
Mm-hmm.
Jojo's here off his last loss. And not only like people who are in the UFC, but people that we have fighting for, you know, PFL, AFCB, all these other shows. Like he's a fucking magician, man. He's like, I can't sing his praises strong enough, you know. But people just don't. I don't understand how, but they just don't. They don't see how amazing he actually is. And I hope he gets the recognition that he deserves one day. And maybe when one of us wins the belt, that's when it'll come. But yeah.
Yeah, well, some of the coaches that you hear least about are the ones that are the best. You know, I think he's definitely a great example of one of those guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, yeah, so moving on, UFC 225 is tonight, and it's a little bit of an Australian showcase on the main card. How do you think your fellow Aussies are going to do? Are you looking forward to seeing anyone specifically out of the bunch?
Yeah, you know, I'm really looking forward to Robbie's fight. I've been a long time fan of Robbie, and I love, you know, he's just got such a great attitude and a great work ethic. You know, he doesn't talk shit about anyone. You know, he's such a good family man. He just always speaks the truth and works hard. He deserves to be there. So I'm bummed that this fight isn't a title fight anymore, but I'm just happy that I get to watch him perform, and I always love watching his fights. And then obviously, you know, seeing Megan make her debut is incredible. It's been a long time coming. And then Ty, like I've known Ty for years, and I remember watching him on a tiny little show in Western Sydney, coming out to the song "Call Me Baby," and he won with a 30-second knockout or something insane. So I remember Ty when he was just fighting on these small shows in Penrith. So it's incredible being able to see him fight someone like Andrei Arlovski now and be on the main card. I'm excited. This whole card is insane, and I'm just stoked there's so many Aussies on the main card.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty good. Good night. I hope so, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure it will. Like every single person who's fighting is awesome. Like, yeah.
Well, what exactly are your thoughts on CM Punk? Are just like good for him that he's trying it, or are you kind of on the like, oh, he's really getting a shot in here, or is it just whatever to you?
Man, I think it's such bullshit how people hate on other people's success. You know, like we're all striving for the exact same dream. We're all striving with the same goals. Like, how can you hate someone because they got there before you? Like, he's put in his time in his own industry and has been given this unique, amazing opportunity to cross sports and cross entertainment industries and be with the biggest show in the world. You know, like, I can't hate him for doing that. I envy him and I admire that, because he's just taken it all in his stride. He lost and he got finished in his first fight, and he's still like, fuck it, I'm coming back. This is what I love to do. And yeah, I admire CM Punk. I think it's incredible that he's had that opportunity. I couldn't be upset about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a unique case, and definitely props to him for sticking to it after that first loss.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen people run away from less. You know what I mean? Like, he's put himself out there on the biggest stage, and, you know, he suffered a setback in front of everyone and had so much criticism from everyone, and he's still like, no, fuck it, I love this. Like, I'm going to do it again. You can't help but admire it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you watch a little bit of wrestling from time to time, right? So did you watch him when he was back in it?
No, I only just recently started watching wrestling,
Okay.
so I don't know who a lot of people are. I remember watching it when I was like 17, but the only person I remember was Eddie Guerrero, and it was because I liked him, you know. But I don't, and John Cena, but everyone loves John Cena. But yeah, I've never been a big fan. I only just started watching it when I went back to Australia for UFC Perth, and I was stuck in my room for 4 days waiting for my visa. So I just watched pro wrestling for 4 days straight.
There you go. All right, so the last thing I have for you really is, do you have a specific prediction for your fight with Jessica I?
Yeah, I'm gonna win.
That's a
Don't
good
care
one.
how it happens. Don't care when it happens. I'm just gonna win.